Are you missing the sounds that matter most? What if you could hear every word, every laugh, and every moment crystal clear without spending thousands on expensive hearing aids? Introducing Audient Atom, the world's most affordable FDA-approved hearing aid. With the revolutionary A2 chip, you get premium sound, zero background noise, and a 24-hour rechargeable battery. They even have Bluetooth connectivity to connect to your cell phone or TV. Unlike those traditional bulky $5,000 prescription hearing aids, the Audient Atom is 90% smaller, 20 times cheaper, and works instantly. No visits to the audiologist needed. Audient Atom has over 500,000 happy customers who have trusted Audient Atom to restore their hearing. Our 100% money-back guarantee means zero risk to try. Don't like them? Simply return them and get your money back. They also come with a lifetime warranty. For the next 72 hours, the Audient Atom is 53% off. Go to tryhearingaid.com right now to order your pair for only $99. Again, go to tryhearingaid.com to order your pair for only $99. Order now before it's too late, as these hearing aids have sold out over 10 times this year. With Audient Atom, you can hear life again.
You don't need to be ripped. You just need the right shirt. Epic Fits gives you a clean, confident silhouette, snug on the arms, soft on the skin, generous where it counts. And with deals like $15 per tee, they won't break the bank. Visit epicfits.com today. Epic Fits, t-shirts that get it.
You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I'm Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here again today. And today we have another show. We have a guest, Chris Capuano. He has an amazing website that you can check out that we're going to really dive deep into today's show. His website is noceilingnoexcuses.com. And he knows a little bit something about that. From starting from the bottom to getting to the top. 12 years ago, he was hurting the pockets, but man, did he face that burnout with the opportunity to level up, and not just level up, but to really make his life go to a whole new direction. So when it comes to understanding what it takes to take your pain as medicine and turn it into something that requires grit and real hustle, this guy is someone that you really want to listen to today. We're going to learn about his story. So first and foremost, I want to welcome you, Chris, to the show. And so how you doing, man?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity, Shamaya. I think we're going to have a great conversation. I know before you hit record, we were just vibing with each other, and it felt like we're going to have a really strong conversation. So I'm pumped.
So when it comes to your book that I kind of teased with the website, the book, No Ceiling, No Excuses, it's a raw mixture of a memoir plus playbook plus workbook that is designed to help people rewrite their story and build something that lasts. Reason why I did give you the summary of your intros, because you have a resume that probably take a full 25 minutes. So kind of share the audience a little bit about your professional background.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So, the professional background, it's been ever ongoingly changing, right? A few years ago, I was, in a stable 6-figure job. I was a union steamfitter working in Manhattan and Long Island, making over $100,000 every year. I had benefits. I had a vacation fund. I had a pension, and I hit a ceiling, and I don't like ceilings. And I didn't think it was fair that I would maybe get more done than the guy next to me, or I would work way harder than the guy next to me, and we were both getting paid the same. But what drove me even more nuts is I would never get past, let's say, $150,000 a year. Didn't matter how hard I worked. Didn't matter how much I worked. I could be a zombie and work 80-hour weeks, and maybe I'll make $160. But what about if I want to make $250 or $350 or $550 or $1 million, whatever, right? It's like I felt that I was capped. And even though my last name is Cap, I don't like to be capped. So I don't like ceilings. I felt like Willy Wonka at the end of the chocolate factory when he smashed past that glass ceiling. And I basically said, screw this, walked away from it, and started the business that I'm in now.
When you think about rock bottom, what was your rock bottom moment, and how did that lead you into a new chapter?
I've learned to love rock bottom because it took me a while to realize that that's what I use as my fuel to push me faster and harder and more towards the direction that I want to go. So a lot of people come up with excuses as, oh, well, I had this happen to me. That's why I'm not where I want to be. Or you didn't have the childhood I had growing up because you didn't have X, Y, and Z. That's where I am. That's why I am where I am today. And I was sick and tired, and I'm still sick and tired of hearing all the excuses. And if you read my book, the first third of my book sounds like a horror movie. That was my childhood. You know, I mean, if you want, I could get into it between the alcoholic mother and the crackhead stepfather and the divorce and death and all that stuff. I could get into it, trust me. But you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, what am I going to do? Am I just going to sob and hope that everyone feels bad for me, and all of a sudden a little bird comes by and drops a bag full of money on my lap and I'll be set? Or are you going to work your ass off and you're going to do what you want to do and do what you need to do so you could do what you want to do? So I decided to take the latter and work my ass off, and now I am where I am. And yeah, not every day's perfect, but I'm not waking up at 4:30 doing construction anymore, you know. So that's a green light, right?
I mean, there's a lot of light bulbs cutting on right now for people saying, listening to this, watching this, saying, all right, shut up, Shemaya, and let this guy continue talking. So that's going to be my follow-up question. When you finally hit that moment in your life where you are starting to think about, okay, the responsibility is really on my shoulders. It's up to me to get up every day and to strive for greatness. What was your definition of greatness in the moment? Was it one step at a time and do better in this area of my life? What did that process look like for you?
It was a lot. It wasn't, one thing. It was, hey, I just want to find something that excites me, find something that helps other people in the, the same time, and find something that I can scale and generate and make a lot of money with, and find something that isn't just a flash in the pan, like a lot of these other get rich quick schemes out there, but something that's going to last and be sustainable. And I wanted to have fun along the way. So just for your listeners, what I do now is I actually help small businesses. I set up point of sale systems, I set up their merchant services, and I set up their credit card processing for a lot of local businesses, but I actually have clients in over 16 states. So if you're in the US and you own your business, or you're thinking of opening up your own business, and you want some help, that's why people come to me. I love what I do, because what I get to do some days is, go to a restaurant, set up a whole computer system, hang out for the day, build in all the items, train all the staff. I get to have a nice meal at the end if I'm lucky, maybe a cocktail or two. And at the end of the day, I built a really good relationship. And that's my favorite part of my job, is developing these strong and happy and powerful relationships with people. And like I said, every day is not sunshine and unicorns and rainbows. There's a lot of rainstorms in every job. Every entrepreneur knows this, and every person in a job knows this. There's always a person or something about your job that you're going to freaking hate, and it's going to make you want to just quit. And you got to realize that the grass is always greener on the other side. And you can't just stop and you can't just quit because you'll end up doing that 1,000 times in your life and not ever advancing. So you got to learn how to work with what you got, work with the hand you're dealt, power through it, and push past the quit. And that's kind of why I wanted to write my book, was I wanted to inspire people that are on the seesaw of hey, should I go this way or that way, or people that feel stuck, and I wanted them to feel unstuck. So that's my whole message behind this book, is just take action. Don't worry about it being perfect. Even if you screw up, and I promise you are going to screw up and you are going to look stupid and you are going to feel silly, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. So don't worry about what mom and dad are saying, or social media, or your friend, or your dog. No one cares, right? You know what? Let me rephrase that. People do care, but you shouldn't care about what other people think of you. So that's my message behind all that.
It's funny when you said I choke a little bit, because when people talk, a lot of times it's like my mind just turns on a movie. I just start watching a movie. And when you said about don't be too worried about looking stupid because it's going to happen, I love that, because how many of us can be honest and say we tied our shoes the very first try?
I still can't
barely do it.
Dude, I can't. I
walk around my shoelaces untied all the time until it just clicks. And For me personally, when it clicked, it's like, okay, boom, I know how to do it, and start feeling proud.
Best feeling.
That's
conquering something, right? Getting something done. And there's no reason to not know how to do something. We all have 2 thumbs and a smartphone. We all have YouTube and ChatGPT. You could literally train yourself to be a brain surgeon in 2025 if you want to, right now, today. How about next time you go to the bathroom, you stop playing Candy Crush and you start learning a new trade or a new skill? How about that? Could we try that?
I love that, because I want you to dive and zoom in on that, because I feel like that's very key. Because also in your story, you had numerous of odd jobs, and I want you kind of touch on that. Were there any experiences with having odd jobs that were valuable when you decided to go full in business? And if so, what were some of the things that you found valuable in those odd jobs?
And let me say this, I've been on a lot of podcasts. Your questions are awesome. I really do. I love your question. I could tell you put a lot of thought into these, and I appreciate it. So thanks again for having me on and asking such awesome, insightful questions. And I think I have a good answer to that one. So being a waiter, I think, should be required for almost everyone that wants to eventually, get further in life and advance their, entrepreneurial world of skills and whatever. Because when you're a waiter, you're doing it's almost like 10 jobs in one. It really is. You're you have to learn how to, one, be a busboy, right? You have to learn how to bus your own tables. 2, you have to learn how to multitask. You have to realize that table 14 needs the lasagna. Table 16, you got to grab their bread. Table 17 needs the check. Table 42, you got to wrap their food up. Table 7 is just walking in the door, so you got to greet them. Table 8 needs water. So you ever play that game with the lemonade stand? You got to give the cups and squeeze the lemons and pour the water. So you have to learn how to think in a system, and you have to create up systems, and you have to think ahead. That is a skill that you learn as a waiter that is so valuable in life. It really is. So it also kind of taught me how to do better with customer service. Not every time you drop a dish at a table, they're not going to love it. So how you handle that situation is key. And what are you going to do? You're going to say to the table, "Oh, you didn't like the lasagna? Too bad." No, you're going to say, "I'm so sorry." You have to take responsibility as a waiter, even though you didn't cook the food. What are you going to do? You're going to fight with the customer? "Oh, too bad. I'll tell the chef you didn't like it." No, you say, "I'm so sorry you didn't enjoy that dish. Is there something else I could get for you?"
Manifesting financial abundance, the perfect partner, or anything else you desire is now easier than ever, thanks to the world's first manifesting mask from HighSomni.com. Without any extra effort, the manifesting mask from HighSomni will help you remove the old limiting beliefs and bad habits holding you down and replace them with new neural pathways to start attracting what you truly desire. Get your very own manifesting mask today at a massive 35% discount and with 6 additional freebies from HighSomni.com. The world's first manifesting mask, now available to everyone at HighSomni.com.
You don't need to be ripped. You just need the right shirt. Epic Fits gives you a clean, confident silhouette, snug on the arms, soft on the skin, generous where it counts. And with deals like $15 per tee, they won't break the bank. Visit epicfits.com today. Epic Fits, t-shirts that get it.
And you try to make it better, even though it had nothing to do with what you did. So it's about absorbing that responsibility. And lastly, I would say sales. As a waiter, you want the customer to spend more money. Why? So you get a bigger tip. You're not going to oversell, right? You're not going to recommend a dish just because it's expensive. But if a customer is torn between 2 options and you're on the fence about both, and one's more money, or maybe you say to them, "Oh, hey, do you want dessert?" Or, "Hey, have you thought about maybe getting the truffle on the steak?" Right? So now you're going to elevate the customer experience, and you're going to get a better tip, and they're going to have a better time. So every waiter is really a salesperson, and the other 15 things I just mentioned in one, without even really thinking about it.
When you think about processing, not just data with your business, but just data in life, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is we have these files of memories that just, they can randomly pop up. Like you can see a movie and reminds you of your childhood, or reminds you of your first, date or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about business, you have a system that you develop, Hustle framework.
Mm-hmm.
What are some ways that your experiences help you form this process framework that you have, Hustle framework?
So, writing a book, I thought would have been easy, and it's not, man. It's hard. Have you written any books?
Not that I'm proud of.
No. Oh, so you wrote one though.
Yeah, I was in a fever of everyone's doing a self-publishing phase. And
That's what I did.
I threw one out there.
There you go. But you did it. But you did look and it wasn't perfect, right? But you said, screw it, I'm gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
And you did it. And you know what? I bet you don't regret putting it out there. Am I wrong?
You got 4 stars, but I don't promote it.
There you go. Look at you. So you know the struggle of writing a book. Like, it's hard. It really. How many pages was your book?
It was little. It was more like an ebook.
Right?
Yeah.
So I thought I was done, and I worked my ass off for months, and I looked down and I'm like, shit. I'm only at 30 pages. I'm like, how do you write? And then now I'm walking around to the bookstores and I'm envying the books that are like 300 pages. I look at the Bible and I'm like, oh my God, it's insane. It's crazy. Yep. So writing a book is really, really hard. And it's all about taking that first action step and just committing. Because so many times you feel like, oh, this is just, screw it. I don't feel like doing this anymore. But why? It's all because of the other people's thoughts that are getting in your head. So what I did was I put a deadline on it and I stuck with it. And I said, by my 35th birthday, I'm gonna release the book. And I had 6 months, and I honed in, and I drilled in, and I hired an editor, and it's up on my website for $20, and it seems to be getting really good reviews. And as of today, I have 5 stars, right? And I want to keep it 5 stars. I got 22 reviews. My goal is to sell 1,000 copies. We're on pace to hit it, hopefully another month or two. And I'm just trying to get the word out there, man. Yeah. So I appreciate you bringing me on. And I'm not sure if that answered your question directly or not, but if I didn't, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to circle back.
No, you did it, and you did it in your own way. And that's why I let my guests on the show just kind of run with it, because when you think about hustle, it's something that not everybody truly understands, but it floats around like the ocean, because everyone claims that they're hustling or that they got this magic sauce recipe of how they do it. But it's funny because I had a guy on, it was like a pre-interview for the official interview, and he's in the financial background, and he talked about how you had to really vet all these professionals who claim what they do in the profession, because some people do it just to do it, but others, they do it because not only do they have the proper knowledge to educate their client, but they have the proper experience to help position the client to where it's not just a transactional relationship. It's actually like, wow, you do some business with me. When you leave here, you're going to be well off. I will pay back 10 times more because that person's going to tell 20 more people what you just did for them. So landing the airplane, when it comes to you and how you see the hustle framework, how do you position your clients to have, I'm better off because of my experience with you, with Chris?
Yeah. And once again, killer question. And it goes back into just providing value. And I'm in a weird industry. I'm like half finance, half sales, half customer service. And I know that's 3 halves, but don't count my halves. So it's tricky. It really is. It's tricky, but it's also simple. It just boils down to, how can you help your client? And if you're a salesperson, if you just shift your mindset from how can if right now, 90% of your salespeople, I'm assuming, are thinking, oh, cool, what can I do to close my next client? How can I sell them? How can I sell more? I only sold 10 people last month. I want to sell 20. I want to sell 50. I want to sell 100. If you just spin the finger from pointing at yourself, me and I, to them and say, how can I help them? How can I help their business do better? Watch how much more success you have, because you're going to be asking better, more detailed questions. You're going to be getting more information. Your job as a salesperson is you're basically a problem solver, but you also are a detective. So as a salesperson, you're half detective, half problem solver, and you have to marry those two together. and you have to find out what the client needs, but they're not just always going to tell it to you. You're not going to walk in the door and they'll go, hey, Shemaiah, I am so glad you're here. I have a problem with X, Y, and Z. And if you could fix that, I'm signing up with you. No, you're going to walk in and they're going to be like, hey, what's up? Okay, I'm busy right now. Come back. Okay. And then when you go back, it's going to be like, oh, hey, if you just say, how can I help you? They're going to be like, I don't know, but I'm busy. How can I, you have to, it's all about asking the right questions. Yeah. Like, for example, some of my clients think of me whenever they have issues with almost anything, which is a blessing and a curse. Like the other day I got a call, hey, Chris, I know this has nothing to do with you, but do you happen to know my Wi-Fi password? And I knew it, and I gave it to them. And they're like, that's why I love you, Chris. Like and another one of my clients called me up the other day. He's like, Chris, I know you're obsessed with food. I'm going out to this town. What's your top recommendation for a good burger? And I gave it to him. And he's just like, I love that. I love when people look at you and they see you for more than your little niche, whatever that word, however you pronounce that word, whatever it is. Yeah, that's just been confusing me like my whole life. I got to Google that at the end of this. Is that the right way to say that word? But anyway, so yeah, it's all about just providing value and helping the people that you're serving. Remember, you're serving them. You're not their servant, okay? But you're there to help. And it's your job to uncover how and where you can provide value. And it's the same no matter what industry you're in. It's all about helping people with their problems.
So my next question ties to what you said earlier about being a waiter, because I really like how you illustrated the importance of multitasking. So you have one table that needs to check, and you have another table that needs the food, and you got another table that just walked in, and et cetera, et cetera. I think that's a good illustration for this next question for people that are visual like me. And that is, you have a saying about excuses, they don't build empires, but action, it does. So imagine this, if you're a listener, you're waiting tables, right? Well, if you just sitting around, somebody better do their job, because look at this hot mess, and all you're doing is making excuses. Mm-hmm. That fire gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where you can't even put it out. So that's my challenge to you for my next question to answer. How do you navigate those crazy moments where you have to make a split decision? Do I stick to it and take action, or do I sit and make excuses because I'm too afraid to move?
Yeah, so you got to get unstuck. You got to get unfrozen. And I actually really look up to my brother, and he has one of the most successful construction companies in the entire state of New York. And I love going to his office because it's so fascinating to me watching him deal with like a million phone calls going on, or texts, or his employees or whatever. But what blows me away is how quick he makes a decision, and he doesn't teeter-totter. He directly goes one way, and it's either full left or full right. There is no gray area, and he just commits. And I'm trying to be more like that. It's hard, dude. It's hard when you're in like the weeds. Like, you could either have laser vision, tunnel vision, whatever you want to call it, or you could use your peripherals and your brain. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision. If you think long, you think wrong, and you have to commit. Yeah. And if you screw up, own it. Okay. Say, you know what? I blew it. That was not the right decision, but it was my decision alone. I'm owning it, and I learned something from it. As long as you learn something from your bad decision, then I don't think it was a bad decision, because you learned, you took something away from it. So don't be afraid to make wrong decisions. Be afraid to make no decisions. And one of my lines I've been dropping lately is imperfect action trumps no action 100% of the time.
I like that. And once again, if you go to Chris' website, it's noceilingnoexcuses.com. Make sure you get a book. It's going to be in the show notes. One thing I want to say is I just had this discussion with another guest earlier, and we live in a time where there's so much information. I mean, back in the day, it was playing basketball until the streetlights came on, but now it's basically get some muscle in your thumbs and do some workouts with the feet. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot. It's a lot out there. It's a lot of access to go in this direction. You can learn, like you can learn about anything you want now with AI and ChatGPT. But when you slow it down and you focus on what does Chris need to do right now? Because it's so easy to just plug away. What is so-and-so doing? What's my friend doing? Oh, this person blowing over the business, or this influencer is killing it with sales, or whatever. It's a unending feed.
Yeah.
How does Chris slow down and say, okay, what's working for me? How do I really want to grow this business? Because those are some tough questions to ask yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or afraid to even take action.
100%. Yeah. And you got to realize that it starts with zooming out, getting off the mouse wheel, getting out of the rat race, and realizing that you can either work in your business or work on your business. You can't do both. So it's a Friday night. If you see the owner running food to a table, what is he doing? He's working in the business. That owner should pay a waiter or a food runner to run that food. So that way he could be focusing on, hey, where am I going to open up my next location? Or, hey, how can I automate my inventory management? Or, hey, why don't I run a customer rewards program and send a text to 10,000 guests? And now if 2% of them show up, I just made an extra $2,000. And if I do that once a week, I just made an extra $8,000 in a month. And, it's an extra 90 grand a year, almost 100 grand a year. So if you zoom out and you look at the macro instead of the micro, it's going to do so much more for you. And it's easy to get caught up in the tornado of the business. I still struggle with it today. I really do. It's not something that you wave a magic wand and you solve. I mean, just before this, I was literally cleaning in my, I have a storage facility, Windex and paper towels. And I'm like on my hands and knees cleaning some old used equipment. And I'm like thinking, I'm not listening to the advice I'm giving. I'm like, I'm working in the business, but not on it. But you have to do the work that sometimes other people don't want to do. And then eventually, there's a famous line out there. If you're willing to do what 99% of people aren't willing to, then you're going to get where the 1% of people eventually get, or something. I totally butchered it, but I'm sure your listeners got my message wherever I was going with that.
I follow you. It's like when someone snaps their fingers and you say, close your eyes and get close to the snap sound. That was me. I was following that sound. So
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
What I want to ask though is, when you understand you, because all the interviews I do, I always see the common thread. The successful people, they understand themselves because they look at themselves. They ask themselves the right questions. What do I not know right now? Who can I surround myself with who are 10 times smarter than me, who can show me where I can go, versus someone else who can't even tie their shoes? And no, I'm never going to ask that person advice. How much energy and commitment did it take for you to find the right tribe or find the right resources so that you personally can start growing into the bigger side of your business growth?
Yeah. Killer question again. So it's hard to know who you are. This is still something. It's like, I'm 35 years old and, dude, you still learn something new about yourself. Honestly, I feel like almost every day. It really is hard, man. And experiences change you, and for better or for worse. And it's a constant evolution of life. But if you realize, like me personally, I like to have a good time. I like to have fun, but I also like to get stuff done, and I like to do things right the first time. So realizing that, my personality is probably more type A than type B, right? So you got to lean in and own and commit who you are. Don't try and be a type B person if you're a type C or a type, you know what I mean? So like realize and commit, and there's nothing wrong with who you are. And then it's going to help you propel and get to way further places. Because, for example, earlier today, I was speaking with a prospect, and he goes, Chris, I will tell you right now, you got my business as long as you guarantee that you're going to give me the same service that I'm getting now. And I said, what type of service are you getting now? And he goes, I have someone that answers the phone 24/7. They never once told me they're on vacation, and they're always available, and they instantly do whatever I tell them to do. And I'm like, look, I love that. I'm all for good service. I love to hear from my clients that, Chris, you give the best service. And I do hear it pretty often. I am not available 24/7. And you are not going to be able to call me at 4:00 in the morning and ask me to build an item into your system for you. That is not me. I said, I think you should stick with your current provider. I think you're very happy with them. I'm happy that you have a good provider. If at any point they drop the ball, this is the way me and my company work. I will train you to do everything yourself. If for any reason you're uncertain how to do something, just call me. I'm literally just a phone call away. And guess what? I may be in a meeting, but I could promise you that I'm going to call you back. And it's probably going to be within an hour. Like, I'm not saying, oh, give me 3 to 4 business days to call you back. I'm not a jerk. I'm not a bank. I'm a human. You're a human. I know you need help. And I want your business to succeed, because the better you do, the better we all do. So he wasn't having it. And it's totally fair. So it's about knowing who you are, knowing who you're not, underselling, over-delivering, under-promising, over-delivering, and committing and doing what you say you're going to do, and creating boundaries. You gotta realize in life, you have to create boundaries. You know, if a client calls me at 2 a.m., if I'm up and sober, I'll answer. If I'm falling asleep and I see the light up and my wife's sleeping next to me, I'm probably not going to answer. You have to have boundaries. You know, you gotta, and people are humans. They understand it, but you could tell, and you have to listen to your gut. That's another key here. Like I saw and heard inside my gut the red flag as this prospect was speaking. And I was like, okay, I've learned my lesson before. I've said things when I first started, like, oh, I'll be there every step of the way. If you call me, I'll answer. I promise I'll get right back to it. And it's always shot me in the butt, because now I work with over 500 clients and I'm not as available as I used to be. I am still very available to all of my clients. You could ask them. I got over 500 people that will rave about me. But whenever someone says I need you available 24/7, it's just a red flag to me. And I'm like, that's not someone that I want to work with. So I told him to stick with who he's with. And I think that was the right decision.
I believe most people watching and listening right now are not going to pick up their phone 4 a.m. unless it's some relative or mom or sibling or something like that. So I completely understand that point of view. And I think it's very smart to make, because, again, when you are inexperienced, you just kind of do whatever you think you must do and have to do. But if you really want to grow, then it's not just setting your boundaries, but it's being honest with what is your skill set, what is your, like, wakes you up in the morning and you can do it without getting paid. Like, what inspires you? What is your passion? What comes easy to you?
Yeah. And realizing that not all business is good business.
That part. When you think about how you went through levels of success with your business, like I said, your resume, you've been able to do a lot of amazing work throughout your career. How did it look like for you educational wise? Like,
yeah,
we know that you just didn't wake up one day and the jackpot just hit and you're like, oh,
hell no.
I got this.
It still didn't hit. My bank account ain't full yet, man. So,
but it's better though.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm in a very good place financially, because I saw the path and I committed and I stuck with it and I built systems, and that's why I wrote a book. So financially, I graduated with my associate's degree, did not get my bachelor's. The associate's degree did nothing for me. High school did nothing for me. I made no valuable connections. I went to public school. It did nothing for me. Taught me the basics, but it didn't teach me how to balance a checkbook, didn't teach me how to run a business, didn't teach me how to deal with stress, taught me how to do math in the most complicated way, which now we all have computers for. So it almost feels like a waste. But I guess we could get into a whole conversation about that. But I mean, yeah, man, education is just, it's one of those things, like you really have to go with the FIO method, the figure it out method, FIO. the whole way. I mean, I drove for Uber. I was a power washer, 6-figure union steam fitter. Before I got into the union, I did it for another 7 years before I got in, and I was making like $18 an hour, working for my brother. And, before that, I was a teacher's assistant. I tried drop shipping. I tried flipping women's shoes on eBay. Like you said, I tried almost every job under the sun. And it's just like taking things away from each job and experiences that you can use to make yourself better and realize where you don't want to go next time, where you want to go for the future. And just learning. Like, that's my whole key takeaway. And damn, dude, you will learn a lot. Like in every, whatever business or job you try to do, like, it doesn't matter if you try the job A versus job B versus job C, if you're not learning, then you're losing. That's a fact right there. If you're not learning, you're losing.
Once again, listen to Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our guest, Chris. Go to his website. It's noceilingnoexcuses.com. My last question for you before we sign off officially is business. I mean, everyone knows it. It is not easy. It is not easy. Anyone who's telling you it's easy, yeah, maybe, but I highly doubt it. Understanding that reality once you're inside, right? Once you have that baby and you had to raise that baby and you had to make things happen, it gets really real, really fast. And you see a lot of opportunities. But when you're in the beginning of it, fear can set in. How have you been able to overcome fear of the unknown as you are building your business? Because to have the success you have and to write a book, to show people your knowledge and experience, that takes guts, man. Not everybody's willing to kind of put themselves out there like that.
So you're 100% right. And I've learned to have no shame. I have no shame. Like right now, if you dared me to go outside in my underwear and wave my shirt over my head just for a laugh, I would do it because I don't care what other people think of me. I swear to God, I really don't. Like if I cared, I wouldn't be on your podcast right now. I wouldn't have wrote a book. I wouldn't have a successful business. Like my job is 99 times that I walk into a business, I get my ass handed to me. I get no. Sometimes I get cursed out. But I do it because I know that eventually when I do find someone I could help and I do get a yes, it makes it all worth it. So I almost just take everything lightly and I just have a good time. And I realized like I lost my dad 3 years ago unexpectedly, which was really hard. And it just taught me you can't be worried about getting the most days out of your life. You got to be more worried about getting the most life out of your days. And what I mean by that is just getting the most you can out of every single moment, because you're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised tomorrow. We're not even promised a minute from now, a second from now. We're only promised the exact moment we're in. At any point, this could all stop. The light could turn off. This could all done. Radio silence forever. And it's scary. And it makes you learn that you can either live in oh, woe is me, and I woulda, shoulda, coulda done that, and I should have done that, and he said this, so I did it. Don't worry about any of that stuff. It's all noise. There's so much noise. I mean, go outside in New York City where I live and just try and find peace and quiet. It's impossible. That's why I just try and connect with Mother Nature, go on walks, and just like get lost in music if that's what silences the noise for you. Otherwise, just literally try and find no noise. But it's becoming ever more difficult. But if you could go out there and you could cut out all this chitter chatter, focus on yourself, appreciate the small moments, appreciate all the moments, appreciate the losses, because like I said, they're not really losses unless you quit. And if you promise yourself you're not going to quit, then what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to win. So get out there and start winning.
No excuses, man. That was perfect. That was a full circle moment. So once again, go to Chris' website is noceilingnoexcuses.com. The book information will be in the show notes, and go directly to the website if you want to get it right away. Might have to have you on again in the future, because I feel like what you're doing now is just a chapter, but you have a lot more chapters to go. So like I always want to say to you, man, thank you for your time today.
Of course. Yeah. Much love. Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate everything.